Welcome to the mysterious case. I am Zheng to you. And today we're going to talk about a case. It's very serious. It's been going on for the first 10 years. 20th century in China. This case was reported by Chinese CCTV China Central presentation in a program about the government's anti-corruption campaign to expose the details. The sins of the three brothers. House officials they reason. In Cable City Titan, Heilongjiang province, China. These three brothers didn't just oppress the people. Gang gathering. It's also forcing people to take drugs, assault and dominate the area. In the local community, no one dared to touch them. These three people also colluded in illegal bidding, using violence to monopolize the power construction, up to 80% of the electricity in the area. They're so extravagant that they've boldly declared, about electricity in Heilongjiang, we are the ones who decide. To strengthen the monopoly position, these three brothers formed a violent gang called Moral Wolf Team to cause trouble at non-compliant construction sites. Directive, EP, forcing business owners to take power plants illegal. Thanks to nefarious tricks, for many years, three cousins become kings in the region. Illegal proceeds of more than $1 billion yuan. With this money, they've bought at least 135 homes in big cities as 3 Asia, Beijing, Shenzhen, and owns up to 96 luxury cars. So what makes these three cousins so rational? Into the infamous Cable Kings Titan. How to manipulate the market and pressure another person's picture is like that. Before we start, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Don't miss the new stories. Thank you very much. Three great brothers. Physical conditions born at Cable Heilongjiang province in a normal family. Their parents are all workers at the power station. I've been naughty since I was a kid. They often quarrel and fight. My two brothers are very protective of me. Every time Lidong is bullied, whether it's right or wrong, you'll solve it. In the process of they often gather to beat people. People around are scared. They're lazy and aggressive. If you don't fit your eyes, you're ready to go. That's why, even people the same age or older, they don't dare to connect to them. To the years of ripe 80, he graduated from college. She graduated from high school. Their parents then asked for sex, give the grade and the bronze, to work at an electrical installation department company of electricity. He sued for not passing the college exam. Choose the path of self-employment. Although there is a stable job, Big Brother and Big Brother still don't have a hard time doing business. Lazy eaters from their childhood did not change. They often try to escape, cheating or working through speakers. Instead of focusing on, they're looking for other opportunities to make money. And what's worth, notice that in the course of working at the power company, Li and Lidong discovered the flaw in the bidding process of power works. When you discovered these huge profits from power construction projects, the brothers were immediately attracted. That's the amount of money that I've been working for my whole life. They can't get ahead either. The rich man decided to change. He gave up his irresponsible lifestyle and start working harder. Physics doesn't just work, but also spend time learning and cultivate. After a while of effort, finally, he's risen to a management position at the power company. With this position, the right to begin intervention in bidding projects. During his time working at the company, the great Li began to quietly suggest to the contractors how to give bribes to make sure they win the contract. He is very wise in his way of speaking, that even if his words were recorded, it can't be considered evidence either, so he could easily make illegal money from the project without leaving a trace. Even so, the amount of money from these commissions is still not enough to satisfy greed. To have a fast and stable source of income, he invited his two brothers, start using the money you earn to invest in other businesses. In the 2,000-year-old physics, decided to open a hotel at Cable Titan. However, this hotel is not a place of business. It's also a base for concealing illegal activity, from gang rallies to shady deals. The opening of this hotel marked a big turning point in criminal career. From there, in addition to manipulating the electricity market, they start to expand your power to many other areas, step by step becoming king. No one dared to fight in the area. Their hotel, not profiting from legal activity. It's based primarily on illegal activity. To maintain the BA model, the brothers hired huge security guards, high salary to ensure security. And the waiter in the hotel, mostly people, young, beautiful, glamour appearance, contribute to the construction of the flashy for underground activities. When a male guest comes to stay alone, the hotel will send a special stay to the front desk. In the evening, staff will be sent to the guest room to provide special service. If anyone dares to call the police, the guards will quickly beat and threaten. Force guests to be silent. gradually works. This illegal organization is increasingly
And there's a system.
organized. Customers not only accept but also each other about service. The hotel's revenue is increasing. Thanks to that, three cousins have made huge profits. But their ambition doesn't stop. They keep looking for ways to expand any business activities. Legal, and in December of the same year, they use the money they earned to open a game room, continue to build a criminal empire. Because the game room is just a front end actually. The basement below is the heart of the action. Here the three of them invest a lot of money to shop for modern gambling equipment, diversify the types of games, attract a lot of gamblers. Be aware of the illegality of this activity. The three cousins were very careful in hiding. The entrance to the basement is hidden, and the staff on the first floor will check the password. Allow guests to play. If the guest is new, and there's no recommendation from her old children, staff will always be serious. Be courteous and polite to avoid suspicion. And then it's because of these underground activities. Cousins are building an illegal empire. Become underground economic manipulators at Cable 2, profiting from gray and illegal industries. Within 2 short years, three cousins have all become rich. And it's this sudden wealth that makes them arrogant. I don't care who. They started to cause trouble, fighting and frequently causing trouble in public. 3 of their brothers now really become king at Cable Titan. One evening in 2003 on the way home to Su, the second of 3 brothers, I saw a 13-year-old girl walking alone on a deserted road. When he was drunk, he thought bad things. Tell the driver to stop, pull her into the car by grabbing her hair and squeezing her. Then he took her back to his hotel. At the hotel, they locked her in the room and commit 6 acts of aggression. After the incident, the victim's family refused to go silent and report to the police. Now, the 3 rational cousins didn't just control the underworld, but also have close ties to the powerful. This created a shield. Protect them from punishment. Case: use any means to threaten the victim's family. Force them to be silent, and don't keep looking. Not only that, the lawsuit also labeled itself as the one who voluntarily surrendered. And with the help of contacts in the civil service, he received a very light punishment. 5,000 yuan in almost given punishment. After this event, the reputation of B.A. Cousin Lee is widely, and people at Cable Titan, whether it's in or out of the underworld, they dare not confront them. I see the power of power and power within me, the right of 3 cousins to make decisions. It's not enough just to control the underworld. If you want to ensure absolute safety and achieve ambition, they need to have power and position in government. To implement the grand scheme, the elder gave instructions to the younger brother. Quickly set up a company, private about power construction. This action opens up the next step for the conspiracy. Their total dominance. With the relationships we've built before, it's starting to get into the power industry. Not just poll according to the He also helped the 3 brothers consolidate power to climb to a higher position. He uses every trick from the end. Communication with senior officials. Use your relationships to pave the way for yourself. With meticulous computational ingenuity, big power is gaining more power in the power sector. In 2010, he was appointed Assistant Director, Power Cable Titan, and come President, City Industrial Power Corporation. This position allows direct intervention in power projects, completely in line with the plan. And just a year later, Lee was promoted Deputy Director of Cable Power Department Titan. At the same time, he gave his Lee co-director, Industrial Power Corporation. Cable Titan. This is an important turning point. Help your 3 cousins implement the plan. Turn power in the power industry into money. Abuse of power. The reason for starting the monopoly of bidding projects. He arranged Sao for Lidong Industrial Power Corporation. They always win big contracts through illegal settlements. After Li Dong's group won the bid, he transferred them. This project is for Li Xuai's private power company. Thanks, so you can turn the power in your hands. Profit. Don't stop, you still check. Always check the acceptance and the power supply. Last for all projects in the Titan. Every business wants to get involved in the power industry. Ask permission and get approval from the 3 brothers. Demand to get this approval. Business is forced to bribe. Just like that for a few years. 3 cousins have held up to 6.7% of power projects at Tan to Cable. Make them. It's a huge gain from controlling the entire industry, electricity. But their ambition doesn't stop. To consolidate power, they formed a gang called the Eraser Team. Moral. This group consists mainly of former prisoners who have just been released from prison. All the members of the team are strong, with scars or tattoos, that anyone who sees it should be afraid. Moral Volve Team. obey only the orders of BA cousins and fulfill all requirements, to assault to coerce businesses and people. Main, this gang has become the right arm of the BA brothers. Make them easy, maintain power and increase control. Li and his two brothers. I don't care about breaking the law or the rules of morality. For them, power and profit come first. 2011 theory aims for a Transformers Touch Power project. At first, he sent an ethics team to be courteous and ask the contractor to recognize the situation. Always withdraw voluntarily. However, when the contractor refused to give in, things got more tense. Then the moral team turned to violence. In the middle of the day, this group rushed into the construction site. Team 5 manager contractor. Destruction of equipment and machinery. If anyone dares to intervene, they will be immediately assaulted. As a result, the project stalled and can't continue to build. Impotent before the situation, the contractor tries to report the incident to in the hope of getting some help. However, due to the huge influence of their three brothers, all complaints are ignored. Eventually, the contractor was forced to give up and leave the project. Such incidents are just the tip of the iceberg. In the power projects that the big three controlled, prices are often many times higher than the market price. A good example is a pharmaceutical company. You point at cable to TAN. When this business submits application for electricity according to the process, they're being pressured by three cousins. Force businesses to sign cooperation contracts with great value. It's ridiculous. Pharmaceutical enterprises. It was also OD. As a result, their power application was ignored. 3 years without electricity. The business will not be able to operate. Heavy damage. After a while, Li Dai pretends to be kind enough to remind the pharmaceutical business. In Cable 2, we're the power law. If you want to operate safely, you are required to sign our contract. And finally, because of unwillingness to minimize damage 7 and quickly recover, the company was forced to sign a contract with its three cousins. Accordingly, the actual cost is about 400 yuan, be quoted many times. Their ambitions have no limits. A power project with an actual value of only ND pushed by them to 17 million yuan. This causes businesses to incur huge expenses. They're not just using their power to get rich illegally without sparing anyone. Even as residents, self-interest is always the #1 priority. Everything is set in the power and ambition of the BA brothers. They frequently cut off the power of residential areas to when residents reflect. The building's management was forced to use temporary power. But this power is not enough. As a result, power often goes out suddenly. It causes a lot of trouble. Someone was taking a shower when the hot water suddenly stopped. People are trapped in elevators for hours. Some families can't stand this. I had to move to a hotel to live. 6. Operator arbitrary power cut off. The reason has had a serious to people's lives. However, thanks to the manipulation of power in both sexes, black and white, no one dared to stand up. Meanwhile, the three brothers continued to enjoy life away from home, in which Li is a car enthusiast. He owns a collection of 96 luxury cars, expensive of which 10 pieces is the limited edition. Li Dong with a hobby of collecting antiques. Turn your house into a private gallery. It's full of antiques. There's even a lot of food in there. It's a national treasure. I'm passionate about real estate. Owns more than 100 houses spread apartments across major cities across the country. As the power and money of the BA brothers grew, they become complacent. I believe I can kick the ground. At the birthday party held in Hainan, he even stood at the center of the party while the participants chanted, "Long live the great CA, long live, long live." A sense of power and admiration. It's what makes these three brothers more and more arrogant. But sowing the wind reaps the storm. 2018, a group of enterprises use electricity at TAN together to submit an application to accusation of wrongful acts. This event attracted his own attention, central authority, and immediately an investigation was launched. Initially, they believed they can use sex to escape, but every trick this time was 7. The relationships they used to rely on no longer work, and the legal grid starts to get tightened. The police have collected a lot of evidence. In October 2018, all 3 of them were arrested. 2019, the Black Show. Except the evil of the century, China has launched a series of surveillance, especially in Heilongjiang. Pay special attention to the case of the brothers. After almost 2 years of investigation, authorities arrested 155 suspects. Clarification of 308 criminal cases. The amount of evidence about the crimes of the three cousins, more than 3,200 documents, enough to cover 5 basketball courts. This proves the extent of their crimes. It's really unimaginable. The 10th of March 2020, and Li Dong were executed. Deferred sentence by 2 years. The case received a life sentence. All of BA's personal property was confiscated. The last hand. The evil of the three brothers, inherently manipulated and threatened, was cut down. This story is a profound wake-up call about the serious consequences of intolerance and abuse of power. Despite strong ties and power, they finally have to pay. That's clear evidence. No one can be above the law, and punishment is inevitable. What do you think about this story? Please comment at the bottom. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our support channel. Thank you. I'll see you later. Hello, my friend is Zheng to you. Thank you for watching the video, and you're listening to the main channel. Mystery. I'm going to tell you a story today about a well-off family with a happy life, and there's no financial or emotional conflict. Then one night he's mysteriously missing for a while, and no one knows where they're going. No one knows if they're alive or not. The police conducted an investigation and found out this family was in the house all the time before that. Not long after the family got the news, 4 family members were massacred in just one day. Many people are interested in the case. He questioned the relationship between the killers and this family. Is there conflict or hatred? What is indignant? The killer didn't even forgive both children, under 10 years old. Then AI is so cruel. Now, I invite you to continue this story. I hope you guys like the video, and click subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. The victim's family included the father, 4 years old, mother Road and suggestion 34 years old, big girl pissing on 10 years old, and his youngest son is 7 years old. They live in a house on Wuzhou Road. It was built more than 45 years ago, but the space in the family's home is quite suitable. The house is in the process of renovation, with an area of nearly 1,000 square meters, along with a private garden about 1,200 meters wide. They also have their own parking, with the roof right next to the house. The family moved in a 7-seat car, and both parents have stable jobs. Heilongjiang has been a secretary at a Chinese university for over 25 years, working as a salesman in a company office supplies. Although not rich and powerful, but a family of 4, at least they're enjoying a happy life. The 7th of June 2009, a Monday. Although the summer holidays are approaching, but 2 sisters, Owen and I, still have to go to school, while my parents still have to go to work. According to the usual routine, I will take my 2 daughters to school first, then he'll take his wife to work, and eventually went back to Hong Kong University to continue the work. However, that day he did and she did not go to work. And when a colleague calls, no one picks up. This makes both colleagues feel good. It's weird because both of you are very responsible and always stick to the schedule. Even if you're sick, you'll take leave first. They never quit for no reason. Especially Heilongjiang, who has worked at the University of Hong Kong for nearly 25 years and consistently achieved high performance. About 1 p.m., finally, one of his colleagues was also contacted, but the listener on the side, his phone has confirmed that he went on a trip with his wife. However, this is particularly unusual. When your partner hears this information, they think there's something wrong. They decided to contact the police to report the situation. Everyone is concerned about the 2 daughters. I go to school while my parents don't work. I also want to know who got the phone to call AI. Not long after, the police got notified and sent someone to investigate. The police found the address where he lived very far away, and there's only one computer recycling site nearby. There's no other AI around. If your family is in trouble, they can't call their neighbors for help. During the investigation, the police found a man named Tons of his cousin is loitering nearby. The police came forward to take them to check out the place of interest just a short distance away. When they arrived, the police found their cousin. It doesn't come from Hong Kong, it's from Trongsun. The police continued to ask about benefits and where the family went. Tons explained that on 7th, the family has returned to China to solve financial problems. Usually you enjoy. I will be back before school and Sunday. This time you have urgent work, and it takes more time. When his colleague called, Tons of answering the phone. After the police discovered there are many unusual blood stains in the home, they handed over the case to the criminal investigation team. They were also sick. Searched the entire house for evidence. The police are also investigating about the places where the girls are studying and check the entire family's immigration records. They want to identify whether the family has actually returned to the mainland or not. Results: the survey showed that the last person to see is your mother, even though she doesn't live with her family, but in a nursing home in the village. He visited his mother on the morning of July 5th and left around 11:30. Due to that, it can be confirmed that the benefit disappeared after 11:35 and his family can't go back to the mainland on July 4th. After a thorough search inside the house, on the wall in the living room and headboard, there was a lot of blood in the room. They also found a piece of women's clothing dyed red and a bloody glue pipe. Proof of the people of the husband and wife. It is also found in the house. Records at the airport show the family of four has no immigration records. Based on new findings, doubt about the relevance of the loss of enjoyment increased again. The appearance of wounds on the fingers of Tan. It's explained that he helped to decorate and injured by nails and screws. However, based on the current situation, the police claim that tons are lying. I can't take testimony from tons of people. The police decided to investigate electronic consumption of the family to find the location where four people are missing. They found information that your Visa card recommendation was used from the teller machine in Got at 3:02 noon on the 5th of July. There's an ad that used the senator's credit card, and what's amazing about that person is tons. The police are also present at the place of interest and found his grandmother's phone, from which it can be inferred that if the enjoyment is actually then the time of the murder was around 11:35 after he visited his mother and before she got her credit card used to withdraw funds. A detective who hypothesized that the murder took place between 12 o'clock and 2 p.m. July 4th, but only with tons. He can do the job, killed all four people in the house during that time or not. The 42-year-old is almost a year younger. He's married and has 2 children in China. Tan's main job is cement and motorcycle workers. From 2003 he regularly visit relatives and require a 2-way permit to travel to Hong Kong. Many people come to Hong Kong not only to visit, they also relatives. Work illegally. The main money he's made, it helps to enjoy home decoration left by your father. The police decided to continue searching the area around the family's home, based only on Tan's unclear testimony. Not sure if the family was killed. Finding the exam, it may be an important factor in the sentencing process. If there is no body, it's going to be harder to get a penalty. Finally, after more than 10 hours of torture at 4 a.m. on July 7th, I confessed to everything. After taking the life of his family, Tons buried all 4 of them in their 1,200 square foot garden. The police immediately deploy a task force to locate the body. After a few hours of hard work, finally, police found the body of the first victim, a little girl. This process lasted for 13 hours of stress. The bodies of all 4 victims were then exhumed. They are buried, planted on top of each other in a hole of more than 3 square meters in size. After performing a forensic examination, police found the horrific death of 4 victims. He had at least 65 stab wounds on his body, distribution on the chest, abdomen, and along back, with 13 stab wounds and cuts, upper and lower limbs. In addition to her body, the police found her wrists tied behind her back to iron wires. Her mouth was stuffed with a white vest. There were 6 wounds on the head and forehead. It's because the VA is in contact with a hard object, not the main cause of death. The autopsy showed she died of asphyxiation. My oldest daughter is also tied up. Her chin and neck were wrapped in tape, and there's a long scar on his face. His hands were bent upside down and placed on his back. Then tie your wrist around your neck with a yellow string. The 2 ankles are tied together with a rope. The cause of death of both Own and her grandmother. They're all strangled, and yours is asphyxiation. Told the police he wanted to kill, hurt your whole family because he was discovered having an affair with her. The relationship between Tons and has been secret and stable for many years until they find out about their affair. Even though he only suspected there was no evidence, so he's still allowed Tons to continue working at home. The day of the crime, after visiting his mother, I don't know what you and your mother are talking about. After enjoying returning home, he asked a lot about having an affair. There was an argument and he stabbed his grandfather with a knife. Tons only stop when there are no words left. When he realized that his brother had died, it's too late. After the incident, I went into the kitchen to talk to my grandmother about what happened, but she panicked and called both of her daughters. So, everyone who witnessed the actions of the with you enjoy? Then they hurriedly locked the door and locked their mother. He assured the police that from beginning to end, he never thought about the death of his father and 2 nieces. 3 people died in accidents because they're still alive while they're tied up. Next time, take your credit card recommendation and leave the scene to withdraw the money. However, he forgot to remove the tape from the mouth of 3 people. It was too late to remember why and 3 people had died. In this situation, Tons do not know what to do, so he decided to bury the bodies of 4 people. He started digging holes in the garden and, after 2 or 3 hours, after washing and cleaning the blood at the scene, Tons go home to rest. On Monday morning, July 6th, he left early, order cement, and Tons pay more for the cement store to ensure early delivery. He threw 4 people into the hole and put a layer of cement on the surface to cover it up. More than a year after the incident, on October 2nd, 2010, the case was officially heard in the Supreme Court. He was charged with 4 counts of murder. Prosecutor directly points out what Tun has confessed. He committed adultery and led to the murder of his entire family. However, his claims are not considered credible. It's just an attempt by Tun to cover up his evil deeds. Reality: Tan's criminal motive is related to money. The prosecution claims that at the time of the case, Tons are facing financial difficulties, not enough money to build a new house. So he asked him to borrow money to invest. However, he refused Jin's request. Because of anger and lack of money, they killed his family and stole his credit cards, the same to cell phones. After more than a month of trial on to be 11 2010s, this case is finally coming to an end. Tons accused convicted be out of 4 murder charges. This includes the murder of she and her little girl named Dawn. He was also convicted of murdering the youngest girl, the only person who died of asphyxiation. As a result, he received a life sentence, the most severe punishment that the law can give out. Although the sentence it was established in less than a month, the 16th of December 2010 to appeal. He wrote a letter to the court in which he wishes to have the opportunity to reduce there is a time limit from life, give him a chance to be free again. He also insisted that he would take care of his old mother. However, the appellate court rejected the appeal. In this case, we can see lending money to relatives, it can cause a lot of problems. And the loss is not just financial, it's emotional. There are short-term benefits though, like helping a loved one in times of trouble. But if we don't do it deliberately and clearly, lending money, it can have negative consequences for family relationships and even friends. People often say that borrowing is easy to pay. Stand lender kneeling to collect debt. So consider and be careful in advance. The power of money, guys.